Manus is this Chinese product that just came out, and it's the first general purpose AI agent. It can do anything, right? And we have been discussing all these like computer use AI agents. None of them were actually working really well. And none of them were like, you would just type a prompt and then it will just go there and work like 5 minutes and then create something amazing for you. But this one is different. And here's the interesting part. There's nothing special about it. It's actually using all the things that are available.
Hi, my name is Dimitri Benici, and I'm a content creator, agency owner, and AI enthusiast. You're listening to the AI Agents Podcast, brought to you by Jotform, and featuring our very own CEO and founder, Itinerary. This is the show where artificial intelligence meets innovation, productivity, and the tools shaping the future of work. Enjoy the show. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the AI Agents Podcast. Today, we're going to be menaces and be talking about Manus, the new general AI agent that just was released. But before we get into that, we are really pleased with all the growth that's been going on. We've been growing at a steady rate on all of our different platforms. It seems we've actually hit a point where I look at it and I go, oh wow, this is picking up some steam. We really are grateful for everything that's going on. So if you are new to the podcast, please leave us a follow on whatever you're listening on. Leave us a like, a review. Let us know what you think. But I had to get that out of the way because we're going to be deep inside of the first ever general AI agent. How you doing, Idikin?
Hey, I'm doing great. Good to see you. So. This is really cool. This Manus is this Chinese product that just came out, and it's the first general purpose AI agent. So basically, it can do anything, right? And we have been discussing all these like computer use AI agents. There was the cloud computer use AI agent. There was the OpenAI ChatGPT operator. We have been talking about different types of similar agents, but none of them were actually working really well. And none of them were like, you would just type a prompt and then it will just go there and work like 5 minutes and then create something amazing for you. But this one is different. And here's the interesting part. There's nothing special about it. It's actually using all the things that are available. Basically it's using the regular LLMs like Claude. It's using browser extensions like browser use, open source stuff. And it's using Ubuntu as a computer. So basically it's creating this Ubuntu computer and it's creating this folder in it. And then it's just spawning this browser, making research if you need to do research, if you need to, create files or anything like that, if you need to, create a spreadsheet, whatever you need to do, it's just doing it with prompts and using the browser use the plugin, and basically it's doing. I think that's the important part, right? It's very hard to use products like cloud computer use, right? Because it's just like you have to install it yourself. You have to like really learn it. But this one is like you can just type a prompt and use it. The only problem is like they have this big waiting list of like over 1 million people, so it's hard to get to use it. But today we are gonna look into how it works. I'm gonna go step by step. I recorded one of the examples, and just like we are gonna watch that, and then we are gonna discuss how it works. And I think it's gonna be really cool stuff. And when we can get access to it, when everyone can get access to it, I think it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be really useful and it's gonna increase the productivity of everyone. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think this is going to be game changing for a lot of different reasons. We're going to look at the example really quick and I'll dive into like the specifics of why, but I don't know about you. It's been amazing and also a little bit disconcerting to see the like expansive increase of AI capabilities in the last like 3-4 months. Now, granted, There was a wise man who had the idea to start a podcast named the AI Agents Podcast about 3-4 months ago. I don't know who that guy was. Pretty smart guy, but it wasn't me. I'm just not. I'm not self-flexing for anyone wondering. But I think this is going to be the first this is going to be the first inflection point where people in the mainstream will start being able to see what maybe they envisioned of truly agentic AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we go ahead and watch?
Yes, we should. Yes, we should.
Okay.
Enough pontificating from me. Get right in there.
Here we are at Manus. And so this example is actually from their website. It's a 7-day Japan itinerary for with proposal idea. So when we look at here, this is the prompt. So basically what you are doing is like you just type this prompt. And it's a 7-day Japan trip. You have a budget. You go like you are going as 2 people, and you want to visit historical sites. You want to learn about Japanese culture. Like there are some specific things that you want to do, like visit Nara's deer and explore some cities on foot. And then you want to have this HTML, like web page travel handbook with maps, attraction descriptions. So you want to have this, like you want to create this book for yourself so that you can plan your vacation there in Japan. So when you send this prompt, the first thing Manus does is it's creating this sandbox. And Sandbox is basically a computer. It's a Linux Ubuntu computer. It's creating. It's probably a container-based environment, but we don't care about that. Basically, what you need to know is it's sandbox from the other users. So your data is more private, and it can also do everything you can do in a computer. So it's initialized in a sandbox, and the next thing it says is like it's giving a summary of what it's going to do. And this is useful because that it understood your request. So it's going to create. It says it's going to create the itinerary, including a special location for your proposal. It's going to do the research, different things, cultural experiences. So basically, it's also shows you that it understood your request and it's planning to do all these things. But it summarizes its plan. It's probably just created its plan already, but it's summarizing it in a short, short phrase. So the next thing it's doing is it's thinking. I don't know what it's thinking, but it always says thinking. But so let's see. Basically, I'm pausing the video to be able to describe.
Yeah.
So it's gonna start this research about Japan travel basics, entry requirements. So what it does is in Ubuntu Linux computer, it's creating a folder called Japan Trip. Make there is like this Linux command, creating a folder, and in this folder, it's creating a to-do file. And this to-do file is basically it's how it's going to keep track of everything it does, and it's going to put everything in this folder so that it can access it and it can reuse these files. So next, it's launching a terminal so that we can actually see what it's doing. It says using terminal. Terminal is like this, like on Linux, you can see you can use command line to be able to do things. Okay, here we are on the left side. We started seeing the computer. So the computer is already running, and in this computer, it's basically, as you see, an Ubuntu computer. It's creating a folder, and then it created the to-do file. So, and here at the bottom, as you can see, it's actually describing like what it's going to do. And the current thing is like it's going to start with the research. Okay. So the next thing it did was basically created the to-do file and just created it so far. Okay, and now it actually probably use something like Claude to prompted it to kind of decide on what it's going to do, like what steps it's going to take to be able to like reach the final solution, final report. And basically it created this to-do list. It's a checklist, so it's very smart. There's a checklist, so it can do all these things. It's probably doing all these things in parallel, so it can actually respond back to you quickly. So it created a directory structure. It's going to do a research about transportation, research about weather, visa requirements, currency exchange, flights. So the basics of travel, the first things. The second thing it's going to do is it's going to research all these different cities, like Tokyo, Kyoto, Nara Deer Park. So basically, it's going to do like a separate research about different cities and attractions. Next, from its findings, it's going to decide on the itinerary, create a day-to-day itinerary, and plan for the transportation and cultural experiences. So it's basically like doing the itinerary, and then it's gonna create proposals. I guess it's gonna create multiple proposals for you to pick from. So it created this to do. Let's continue.
Okay.
So next, we can see it actually opening a browser and doing a search here. It's searching for Japan travel basics past transportation April. So basically, it's looking at like Reddit, need advice on travel pass and transport for Japan trip. It's looking into like Japan Rail Pass. So it's visiting all these different web pages. Like these are like different tabs. It's opening on the browser. It's probably it's actually showing some screenshots as well, but it's probably like just pulling them without really opening like full screen, just downloading the contents of the pages. That's probably why it's just showing this as a list, but it's showing me like uh, which page it's gonna go. So next, okay, we can see it visiting a page. It's visiting this japanguide.com website. It's reading about Japan rail passes, learning about it. Maybe it's even like thinking about filling out forms to find spaces, things like that. Yeah, it's just doing research right now.
Interesting.
And next, it's browsing the page, right? Like scrolling down to find like different prices. It's researching about historical sites. These are also other web pages.
Can you pause for a sec?
Yeah, sure.
I just had a thought, right? So if you hover over the timer on your recording,
Oh yeah,
this is 10 seconds into the. I was just
right.
like when you press play and pause a second ago, I went,
Yeah.
this is 10 seconds into the process. How long do you think it would have taken for somebody to do this by themselves? I think is the crazy thing. Like my dad used to take, the whole weekend to make the dang itinerary for the family vacation. Now, I mean, and now we got this.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, definitely.
Yeah.
But it's just much faster. And if you don't have time, it's better to have report with all these proposals and then pick from them. But it's so fast, right? It's incredibly fast. Yeah.
Very true. Yep. Sorry, just wanted to call that out.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing that you mentioned that. So historical sites, and then now it's looking at Nara Deer Park, and it's like checking out all these different pages, like Reddit, YouTube, even like TripAdvisor, like all these web pages. It's just reading them and learning from them. And visiting Nara Park. Okay, learning more, learning even more. Okay, keeps going. Okay, now it's actually writing down all the research. It created this additional file called Japan _research MD. So in this in this file, it's basically all the things it learned that actually would be useful for this research is actually noted in this file. It's probably going to be so the as an architecture, this how this works is there is this executor AI agent, and then the executor AI agent is like giving all these like jobs, like all these to do lists, like to other AI agents, and these AI agents are actually like doing the job, and they basically whatever they are doing, they are probably passing this information back to the executor, so that the executor AI agent can pass this information to the to maybe if it's going to be like if it's going to calculate like the cost and things like that, it's probably going to be using this information. So from all the things it learned, it actually created this file. So another great thing is like uh, the end result is going to be a really detailed report, and you can actually like if you're not sure about something, you can always check it because you have all these documentation about what has happened and the notes it took.
Yeah.
So far, it's actually going parallel. So you can see here, it didn't like just complete here and then move to here. It actually, while it was working on these tasks, another AI agent was probably working on these different tasks. So that's why like this like parallel multi-agent architecture is much faster. And also like if they have developed like these different types of AI agents for different tasks, like uh, then they are able to like use those AI agents in a more better way, in a way that gives better results.
Mm-hmm.
So 7-day itinerary, that's another one. Like I guess for every checkbox item, it's actually creating these text files and with information in them. So the checklist is continuing. Even though I think that's also good. Like many of the tools, like when they encounter an error, they will just give up. Like they will just shut down and
Yeah.
like
That's
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 it.
that's the biggest
And even
issue.
though
Yeah.
it received an error somewhere, it didn't like give up. It just continued.
Yeah, I just want to call this out really quick with AI and especially the agent component of what AI is going to be. So, as we know from the shorter podcast that I make by myself, there is a lot of cool stuff you can do with automation that essentially can make sort of mini agents if you add enough context and like options. However, it is still in the world of AI pretty limited when it comes to problem solving. And that's where, like I was saying, I think this is going to be one of the first leaps in agentic understanding of what that should mean, and also what people imagined it to be. Problem solving, right? Like an AI task completer would not do it only if its parameters are fully done correctly, right? There's a difference. You have an employee, they're going to have some problem solving capabilities. Unlike AI augmented automation, which essentially is just like follow a set of rules. If I can't follow a set of rules, can't do it, right? Not the same thing. So just wanted to call that out. This is where that leap occurs.
Humans are much more flexible, right? Computers are not very flexible. They are rigid and they will get stuck somewhere and give up, right?
Exactly.
But the great thing about AI is, especially AI agents and agentic architectures, is they are much more flexible. They are similar to humans, similar to people, and if they get stuck at something, they can try different options, and then they can ask a question to themselves and then make decisions. So it's similar to human, but it's much faster, and it doesn't get tired, and like you don't pay them uh, a lot because it's just like it's running on a computer. It's just
Yeah,
AI. Yeah,
it's AI token. It's maybe a
yeah,
token cost, which is fractional. It's like I don't think 10x is actually an accurate. Now it's closer to like 100 to
Yeah.
like 500x less in cost.
I think that's an important point. Like everybody's thinking about this, like, hey, if AI can do things people can do, people will lose jobs and things like that. But the thing is, like, we are all going to be able to do like so much more because like we have all these AI assistants, AI, agents that do all these things for us. So like, it's just like, if we need to create itinerary, we can just go and get AI to create it for us. And if you think about it, like, many people cannot, afford to actually hire someone to do the itinerary for them. But with AI, like, just, number of people who can actually do those things are going to be like so much more because like it's just going to cost pennies. And for small businesses, right, without the AI, like you cannot hire people. Like it's just like you don't have the resources to hire a lot of employees. But when AI can do so much for you, then you are going to be able to do like so much more. And this means like you're going to be able to grow your business. And when you grow your business, you're going to be able to hire more people because you are going to be able to you will have more resources to be able to hire more people. So I feel like it's just like it's not that easy as people think, and I'm pretty optimistic about that. Like just and everyone will be able to do so much more. So I think it's going to be cool.
No, you're absolutely right on that. It's I do have some thoughts about entry level positions. But I mean, so here's my thing. I was maybe talking to my friend about this the other day. Like entry level positions are obviously very important in order to get somebody into the workspace, get them started on their career. I don't think they'll all be automated, but I can see a lot of industries basically taking a huge majority of the physical work and offloading it to an AI agent, right? And then, essentially the not the middle management, but like in the ads world, there's an associate level, there's like a manager of ads, and there's an associate manager where they're learning the ropes, they're doing the day-to-day click in the ads platform. Then there's a manager where they end up they take full ownership of it and do a lot of the manual work. Then you have like a senior. That senior starts managing the manager, who then manages the associate. I can imagine that associate level being a little bit automated or AI agented out. However, the assumption that the jobs will all be gone is still a little bit of a leap too far for me in a lot of industries. I can see a lot of the learning curve being shortened for these people, right? And that would help them focus on more strategic stuff that can really help clients. Because unfortunately, most of the bandwidth in a lot of these companies, the funny thing is, like you were just saying, it could save you a lot of time. There's this false pretense in all these companies that they're being as efficient with their work as possible, right? The assumption of it'll remove jobs is assuming that that person will serve no purpose once components of their jobs are AI'd out. I'm like, yeah, but like the person could be doing like so much more with their job. It's just they don't have the time because like they have to do all this click-clack nonsense is like how I always frame it. So they could totally still have a job. It's just they're not doing a lot of the click-clack part, which like in the United States, right? I have family members who are in the banking industry or like finance industry. Do you know how low tech finance is?
Yeah.
Like
absolutely. They use Excel, right? Excel
yeah, they use
everything.
Excel. I'm like this false pretense that all these industries are so technologically advanced is because everybody who's aware of AI is usually, in our case, like we're power users and we'll jump to these assumptions, or these Silicon Valley companies will jump to these assumptions. I'm like, you guys are the most advanced tech people. I'm like, law firms don't have project management systems, guys. Law firms use paper. Like, you're not going to have mass scale American layoffs. I just think it's a false pretense that everybody's going to immediately adopt this and remove all these jobs. I think people are blissfully unaware of how untechy a lot of industries are.
I'm also really excited about all these kids growing up with AI.
Yeah, me too.
When you're young, when you're a kid, like you cannot do much, right? You don't have access to many things. But with AI, like you have like so much access. Like I'm always talking about how my kids are constantly using ChatGPT voice and asking whatever it comes to their mind, and they are doing research. Like we are visiting London in the summer, and they've been researching about like different things they can do, like different places they can visit, like the museums and things like that. And it's just much easier. So and they're growing up with these basically capabilities, and they're learning so much much easily, and that actually means that when they grow up with these technologies with AI, by the time they start their first job, they're going to be like so much better. So they are not going to be like these junior employees. They'll have like so much more power in their hands to be able to accomplish a lot. So I'm not worried about the entry jobs as well. I think it's also going to be fine. Yeah.
Hmm.
Should we continue?
Yeah, let's continue. Sorry, we
All
pontificated there
right.
for a minute. My bad.
Uh, all right. So let's continue our replaying the Manus
Hmm.
work, and it completed most of the tasks at this point, and we can see from the checklist. So let's see what else it will do for us. And here we are actually stopping here to show like this while it's continuing, you can actually see where it is in terms of tasks. Like it's doing all these tasks like uh, it completed this task. Like you don't have to look at those checklists because usually it's just very fast. Like I'm actually playing this video in basically half speed because it's just so fast. And even though we were seeing these, like I was pausing and I was showing that checklist, you cannot actually see it. Like it's just going so fast. But here you are, you can actually click on this to see what's happening. Like it's completed the research about the travel basics and entry requirements. Uh, it created this checklist and research about all these different places, and then developed this itinerary, identified different locations for as a proposal to pick from, and basically, right, it's created a list of like Japanese phrases and travel tips. Next, right now, it's still working on like creating the HTML. So basically, it's going to create this web page for us so that we can actually it would even work like offline. You could put it on your mobile device and carry with you when you travel. So that's also great.
Hmm.
Be it HTML is like available everywhere. Like you can use it on your computer, you can use it on your mobile device, and just it's just a file, and you can email it yourself. So I think that's great because it's not like text because it also includes all these pictures and videos. So it's doing that right now. Let's see how it's doing. It's writing these HTML codes, as you can see, and here we are. If we go a little bit. Here we are. It's actually like looking at all these files. It created all these different files. So it created this like under home Ubuntu Japan trip. It created an HTML file. Here we can see with different like tabs on this HTML file: itinerary, maps, attractions, phrases, ethic, proposal spots, travel tips, emergency info, and you can see like the budget and basic overview here. So it's basically created this like package for you, custom made package for you, and it's about to complete and creating more pages, and that's it. It's done. So here we are. It created this 7-day itinerary file, and it started with the overview, and then day one, arrive at the airport, check into the hotel, like exploration in the evening, dinner, near accommodations, And so basically, it created this itinerary for you,
Mm-hmm.
and basically that's it. Like it's very simple. I just shared the prompt. I just gave it a prompt, and it created this amazing uh, report for me. And in front of my eyes, I can actually see it. Doing the research, coming up with ideas, and then completing all these tasks and preparing everything. And it's not just like web page research, like things like that. It's actually, they have examples of different things. Like, I can also show another example. In this case, it's actually creating a spreadsheet and doing other things. So it's not just doing research. It's amazing. It's like having this uh, full-time assistant that can do whatever you need for you, just but very fast. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'm noticing uh, on my end is you actually have probably the best tool now possible to finally plan a trip away with the kids, and not have to do much of the work. No, but seriously, that I think that's really effective, and obviously that example is personal, right? That's like more of a personal use case. Where do you see that this could be usable for your everyday person and work? So we don't have to talk.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too
I have
general.
an example for that as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Let
Good.
me
Yeah.
share that as well. So, in this case, organizing candidate information for RL algorithm engineer. So, we are going to hire this engineer for our company, and basically, we are looking into uh, help me organize candidate information from PDFs into a complete Excel summary. So basically, we have these like resumes of different engineers, and we are gonna turn these resumes into like summaries, and then put these summaries into an Excel file, right? So that we can organize it and make decisions. Again, it started in the same way. It's creating this Sandbox, and basically it created the folder and unzipping this file as well. And in this file, there are like resumes, as you can see, like different resumes. And here we are. It actually basically it's running this Python code, create Excel template. So it's creating an Excel template to be able to use it for this. It's writing some it's in this example it's actually writing code. So this is a Python code, and as you can see, it's basically like opening this one of the files here. It's reading the file. It's turning that file into a JSON code and pulling all this information from the file. Yeah, let's see what else it's gonna do. And it actually wrote another code. This one is actually analyzing resumes. So basically, whenever it needs to do something, what it does is it actually writes code. So now this assistant that can do research can also write code for you, so that if you need to create an Excel file, if you need to parse PDF, it can actually do all those things for you using
That's
these
crazy.
like by writing code for you.
That's
That's
crazy.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy. So it's actually analyzing resumes, read the first 1,000 characters, get a sense of the resume format. So just reading the file and to be able to uh, get analyzed data from it. So it started like running this Python code on each resume. Like the first one, analyzing the first resume here. It has the name here. It has the job like different times. So probably it's just gonna put these different, experiences, different times, different dates and years into different columns in an Excel. So it analyzed the first one. It's going to the second one. It's actually like you can see it here. Is whatever it's doing, it's actually describing it. I have started processing the candidate resumes for your reinforcement learning algorithm engineer position. I have successfully extracted all 20 resumes from the zip file and created an Excel template with appropriate columns for organizing the candidate information. I'm now analyzing each resume individually to extract detailed information about the candidates, including their basic information, education, experience, skills, and project highlights. This careful analysis will allow me to properly evaluate their expertise and provide you with a comprehensive summary. Yeah, so it's doing everything.
Yeah, this is crazy.
And created another Python code to analyze the details. And here we had the JSON file from extracted from the PDF files, all the data it extracted. It actually, instead of going directly from Excel, it extracted the data, it put it into a JSON file, so it can
Mm-hmm.
actually use it any way it wants. So it's just much easier than going to Excel directly. So here we can also see the task progress, extract the zip file, create Excel templates, process individual resumes, and now it's gonna be extract candidate personal and professional information,
Hmm.
and then it's gonna summarize candidate projects and evaluate each candidate in terms of expertise. And then it's going to add all those information into Excel, and it's going to rank them, and it's going to finalize the Excel, and it's going to deliver the Excel to us. That's cool.
Okay. So I have a question here. Do you know, because I do, I was just curious if you kind of like looked into it. Are you aware of the different models that they're using in the back end? Because I think they're using the text wise, they're using like 3.5 Sonnet actually. It's like what they're it's like a fine-tuned model of 3.5 Sonnet in the back end. So the fun fact about this is I've seen people try to do it for like really long processes. And because that actually has like a short context window, maybe it will get stuck at the end and we'll have to stop. The product you're seeing is actually on an older version, right, of the most advanced models that currently exist for the text and context windows. So just to note, it's worse than 3.7, which already exists for Claude, and it doesn't have deep thinking, and it doesn't have like the 1 million or 2 million context window of something like a Gemini yet. So this is actually below what it very well could be once they literally just change the text model under it, which is crazy.
And I mean, it's probably good enough for the tasks it's doing. Mm-hmm. But it also means that it's going to get better and better. Definitely. Yeah. Let's continue. Extracting information. And on the 12th resume right now, here we can see actually where it is in terms of the to-do. And extracted, created the Excel, and create analysis templates for each resume, begin detailed analysis, complete analysis for 20 resumes. Then it's going to do all these additional steps as well. What is really
so
cool
fast.
is like when you're watching this, it's actually giving you like text. You can see here it's text. It's not just giving you like a screen, like a screen share of what's happening. It's actually giving you text of what's on the computer, what's running on the computer, like shell terminal. Yeah.
Exactly what's under the hood. Yeah.
Yeah. It's done. Basically, it's completed. It created this Excel file. And here in this Excel file, we can see the rank. It ranked all these different resumes by their quality. And it has like, you can see the names. We cannot see the other stuff on the right side. But basically, yeah, it's done. And it took, only like a minute to go from this zip file full of resumes to analyze and rank potential employees for our business, and we just saved so much time.
Man, HR is out here like, oh, I don't have to do screenings anymore or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
for the screenings, you can use Jotform AI. Just
it was a good call. Hey, look at
this
that.
one
The
cannot
plug.
actually do screening. This can actually do this like back office stuff. But
Yeah.
if you need to do these like, if you need to talk to other people, that's when you use Jotform AI agents.
No, totally fair. I'm very impressed with what we're seeing because of the speed, and I'm sure the effectiveness is there as well. It was not the most crazy complex use case, but in comparison to what could have been done like a minute or two ago, it feels like in the world of AI, that was not reasonably possible. You could set up and you can tell ChatGPT to look up these things in a row. Even just doing that was saving time, but I mean, doing it by itself in a minute, in 17 seconds. Wait, I have a question. Was that second one also put to 0.5 speed, or was that
No,
normal
it was
speed?
actually, I think it was a regular speed.
Okay. Got
Yeah,
it. I was curious because it was going fast.
yeah, much faster, right?
The Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like, where do you think this first hits the market the most? Right. The what industry do you think it hits the most right away?
I think what makes this difference is like all these companies like cloud computer use, you know, OpenAI, ChatGPT operator, they're not usable. They're not useful. Like they are not like really like you cannot just like any layperson cannot just go there and write a prompt and do things like this. But this is ready. Uh, you can just go write a prompt and get things done. Um, so I feel like this is gonna be really useful for uh, like teams like marketing teams, small businesses, because they're so busy and they have like so much to do, and they don't have time to learn, cloud computer operator and set up their own servers and figure out how to run it on their computer. They barely have time to write that prompt. Even that prompt is probably like just too much work. But it's just gonna save them so much time. Like marketing teams, right? Any business like Facebook marketing team has been using Jotform for a long time, and and if you think about it, Facebook has the biggest, like the most, one of the biggest like technology companies, right? They have like tens of thousands of developers. Why do they use Jotform? Because like when they go to their developers, they are saying like, "Hey, I can do this in 6 months or something," right? They have other important things to do, but uh, you know, but Facebook marketing team can use Jotform to create their own forms quickly and start using them, and so that's like even though companies are big, they have like technologies. Like the people in these companies, they don't have that much like power. Like they cannot just request something. Like if you are the CEO, you can request something and it will happen. But if you are just this employee somewhere in this large organization, you cannot just ask for something and instantly get it done. So I think this is going to be helpful for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
especially marketing teams, sales teams, small businesses, education, nonprofit, healthcare. Like these are like swamped with work, but they don't have like people who can actually do this stuff. Uh, and if they can't do it, if they can't write that prompt, there's going to be people who can actually write that prompt. So instead of hiring these highly paid engineer consultants, they're gonna be talking to the IT guy that's doing their computers, and then IT guy is gonna be able to write this prompt and they should do this stuff for them. So I think it's gonna be really useful. And, and I wonder, what's gonna be like the pricing for this, right? That's
Yeah.
a question. How expensive? Like what would it cost to actually do like these two examples? I don't know. And we couldn't get access. Like we are replaying the existing examples on their website,
Mm.
but my guess is it's not going to be that expensive because they are using these like Ubuntu, like probably like small these things that doesn't cost too much like resources, and the AI LLMs don't cost much. Cloud is actually much more expensive than ChatGPT.
OpenAI, yeah. Hmm.
You can probably like define like what you want to use maybe. So we are gonna see how it's, and the thing is like there's nothing special here, right? Anybody can go and like clone this tool in a month. Like a capable team can actually clone this tool in a month. There's no like special technology here.
I agree,
It's just
yeah.
like really executed well. They executed really well. Like all these like amazing teams like the Cloud and the OpenAI, they weren't able to execute this well because they were like more into science part than to product type, like the user experience part. But
So
these guys actually did the user experience part much better. So I think they need to move quickly. Otherwise, like there's going to be a lot of clones. But that's also good for everyone. And my guess is like OpenAI, Anthropic, like all these LLM companies, there are like multiple teams actually working on cloning this exact thing right now. Maybe they're just gonna release the exact thing, even better versions in a couple of weeks. Who knows?
Well,
So
yeah, that's the
yeah,
trend that's been happening, right? These Chinese companies are like almost in the dark building something, and then for example, with DeepSeek, and then a week later, ChatGPT is like, haha, O3, we were sitting on O3 and we were sitting on deep research, and then they've already been building out Operator, and they just released a couple things yesterday regarding making agents, right? I don't know if you saw that they just dropped a release on how to access agents through their API. So you can now do like file search, Google search, and Operator via an API agent builder. So I'd imagine that will be followed up with a front end experience at some point pretty soon. It just basically is their, it seems like their MO. And I'd imagine the Claude or the Anthropic team is scrambling to be like, okay, how do we take the computer agents and like make it consumer facing like yesterday? I think that's the immediate response. And it's good for us, like, I do. We can wrap things up real quick here, but I do think the pricing thing will be the most interesting of all. Obviously, OpenAI is the only one that's ever even said something that's ridiculous in the pricing range. Like they said that they would make a deep research, what was it, a PhD level deep research AI for $20,000 a month. I was like, that's more expensive than getting a PhD to do it. But that's going to be the most interesting thing. And like you said, I completely agree. This will help with small businesses the most probably to get started and maybe people, I don't think people will really lose jobs from this immediately. I think it will just make small businesses be able to grow, and less failing small businesses is good for the world. So yeah, that's my thought on it.
exciting times. I think it's really exciting times. I think it's going to be really cool. I can't wait to see what else is going to be coming out in the next days. And we are going to cover all that for you guys.
Yes, we are.
Thank you for watching us.
Yes, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
See you the next time.